Judo is more than just a martial art. It is a way of life, guided by principles of mutual welfare and benefit. At its competitive heart, however, lies a clear and precise scoring system. Understanding this system is fundamental for any judoka, whether you are stepping onto the mat for the first time or preparing for an international tournament. The rules are not just about winning or losing, they are designed to promote positive, decisive judo. They reward technique, control, and commitment, ensuring that the spirit of the gentle way is upheld in every contest. Knowing these rules allows you to strategize effectively and perform with confidence. The primary goal in a judo match is to score an ippon, which translates to 1 full point. An ippon immediately ends the contest, declaring the scorer the winner. It is the ultimate expression of skill in judo, representing a complete and decisive action. If no ippon is scored by the end of the regulation time, the winner is determined by who has the higher score. The only other score that contributes to this is a waza ari, or half point. The scoreboard is simple, tracking only these 2 types of scores, which makes following a match straightforward for both participants and spectators alike. This scoring framework encourages judoka to constantly seek out decisive techniques rather than playing passively. The rules are structured to reward attacking judo. You are always pushing for that perfect throw or that inescapable hold down. This focus on positive, offensive action is what makes judo such a dynamic and exciting sport to watch and to practice. Every grip, every movement, and every attempt is a step towards achieving that final match-winning score. It is a continuous search for the perfect moment to apply your technique with maximum efficiency and control over your opponent. Therefore, from your very first day in the dojo, learning the scoring system is as important as learning your first throw. It provides the context for all your training. It helps you understand why your sensei emphasizes certain details, like the force of your throw or the control you maintain afterward. The points and penalties are the language of competitive judo. By learning to speak this language fluently, you transform your physical practice into a strategic art form, enabling you to navigate contests with intelligence and skill, fully prepared for the challenge ahead. Scoring an ippon is the ultimate goal in any judo contest, as it signifies a perfect and conclusive technique. An ippon can be awarded in several ways, but the most common is through a throwing technique, known as a nage waza. To earn an ippon from a throw, you must execute it with considerable force and speed, landing your opponent largely on their back. There must be no doubt in the referee's mind that the throw was decisive and fully controlled. It is the embodiment of maximum efficiency with minimum effort, the core principle of judo, and it brings the match to an immediate and successful conclusion. Another way to achieve an ippon is through groundwork, or newaza. If you manage to hold your opponent down on their back in a recognized hold-down technique, or osekomi waza, for a total of 20 seconds, you will be awarded an ippon. The clock starts as soon as the referee confirms the hold is established and stops if the opponent escapes. Furthermore, an ippon can also be scored if your opponent submits by tapping twice on you, the mat, or by saying maita, I surrender. This usually happens when a powerful arm lock or stranglehold is applied correctly and effectively. If a technique is good but falls short of the strict criteria for an ippon, a waza ari is awarded instead. A waza ari is a half point, and it signifies a technique that was almost perfect. For a throw, this might mean the opponent was thrown with force but did not land sufficiently on their back, or perhaps the speed was lacking. In groundwork, a waza ari is awarded if you hold your opponent down for 10 seconds, but less than 20. A waza ari is a significant score and often decides the outcome of a match if no ippon is scored. Crucially, in modern judo, 2 waza ari scores combine to equal an ippon. This rule, known as waza ari awasete ippon, means that 2 well-executed but incomplete techniques can still grant you a decisive victory. For instance, you could score a waza ari with a throw early in the match, and then later secure a 10-second hold down to earn a second waza ari. The moment the referee awards the second waza ari, the match ends. This encourages judoka to continue fighting for scores even after a partial success, keeping the contest dynamic. To make the scoring system clearer, let's consider some practical examples. A classic throw like ogoshi, or major hip throw, is a perfect illustration. If you step in, secure your grip, and lift your opponent cleanly off their feet, rotating them through the air so they land flat on their back with significant impact, the referee will immediately signal ippon. The key elements are the control you exhibit throughout the movement, the speed of the execution, and the finality of the landing. This is the kind of decisive action that the rules are designed to reward with the highest score. Now, imagine you attempt the same ogoshi, but your opponent manages to twist slightly as they fall, landing more on their side or with less impact. In this scenario, the technique was clearly effective, but it lacked one of the key criteria for a perfect score. The referee would recognize your effort and skill by awarding a waza-ari. This still puts you in a strong position on the scoreboard, but the match continues. You have gained an advantage, but you must continue to work towards a conclusive finish or defend your lead for the remainder of the contest time. On the ground, a hold down like keisagatame or scarf hold is a common way to score. Once you have thrown your opponent and followed them to the mat, you might secure this position, controlling their head and arm while keeping your body weight firmly applied. The referee will shout, "Osekomi!" to start the timer. If you maintain this control without them escaping for 10 seconds, you earn a waza-ari. If you can hold on for the full 20 seconds, the referee will call soremade and award you the ippon, ending the match right there. The combination of scores is also vital. Suppose you execute a beautiful uchi mata, or inner thigh throw, and score a waza-ari because your opponent landed on their side. The action continues on the ground and you immediately transition into a yokoshio garame, or side four-quarter hold. You hold them for 10 seconds, and the referee awards a second waza-ari. At that moment, because 2 waza-ari equal 1 ippon, the contest is over. This demonstrates how seamlessly connecting standing and ground techniques can lead to victory in a judo match. Just as there are ways to score points, there are also actions that result in penalties. The minor penalty in judo is called a shido. A shido is given for infractions that are not serious enough to warrant disqualification, but go against the spirit or rules of judo. Common reasons for receiving a shido include being overly defensive and avoiding grips, stepping out of the contest area intentionally, or applying a non-standard grip for too long without attacking. These penalties are warnings, designed to encourage both judoka to engage in positive attacking judo throughout the match. Receiving a shido does not directly give your opponent a score. However, penalties have a significant impact on the outcome of the match if the scores are otherwise equal at the end of regulation time. If you and your opponent both have 1 waza-ari, but you have 1 shido and they have none, they will be declared the winner. Essentially, penalties act as a tiebreaker. The first and second shido are simply warnings that accumulate against you on the scoreboard, serving as a reminder to adjust your tactics and fight more positively. The accumulation of shido penalties can lead to a much more severe consequence. If a judoka receives a third shido in a single match, it results in disqualification. This is called hansoku make. When the referee awards the third shido, the match immediately ends, and the opponent is declared the winner by ippon. This rule ensures that repeated minor infractions are taken seriously. It prevents a judoka from consistently breaking the rules with minor actions to disrupt the flow of the contest without facing a significant penalty for their negative tactics. Finally, there is a direct hansoku make, which is an immediate disqualification for a grave infringement. Such actions are considered dangerous or contrary to the spirit of judo. Examples include diving headfirst towards the mat while attempting a throw, attempting a joint lock on any joint other than the elbow, or striking an opponent. These rules are in place for the safety of the athletes. Understanding what actions lead to penalties, from a simple shido to a hansoku make, is critical. It ensures you compete safely, fairly, and effectively, respecting both the rules and your opponent.